Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Your Fear of Pain Running Your Life? And I've been thinking a lot about this lately. My divorce just came through a couple of weeks ago, and it's made me think a lot about the end of my marriage. And I remember when my husband first left, I was so hurt and I was in so much pain that I didn't fear anything. And I know that might sound odd, but sometimes when you're going through such a difficult period, you can't imagine anything hurting as much as the pain that you're in. I was less fearful about saying things on my podcast. I was less fearful about taking a job where I had to learn things. I was just not afraid of so many things because I had lost the thing that was most important to me. And then as life went on and as I started to have success and as I started to heal in certain ways, I once again became more fearful of rejection, more fearful of losing. And that's what happens to many of us. It's that we get to a point that we want to feel safe and we want to feel secure. So we try to protect these things. So we try to protect ourselves from feeling pain. But what we don't realize is anytime we act from a place where we're trying to protect ourselves from feeling pain, the pain and the rejection are running our lives. And when that happens, when your fear of pain or rejection starts to run your life, you take less risks. You're more interested in playing it safe. You're more interested in protecting yourself than living your best life, than doing all the things you truly want. And then the worst part of it all is that at some point you feel that pain anyway. So for me, I am always dancing with this idea of pain. I know right now in my life that I can survive the pain. And the bigger pain in my life would be if I'm not doing everything I truly desire in my life. You cannot hide from pain. It is a part of life. And sometimes that pain is the only thing that's going to stand between you and your freedom. We write a story and we believe that if we try to do something and we're not successful, that pain is going to destroy us. But what we don't see is sometimes there are lessons to be learned. Sometimes that pain is how we grow. Sometimes through that pain, something good happens. But if we spend so much time trying to avoid what comes with the things we want in life, we are just sitting on the sidelines as life is happening to us instead of for us. The great philosopher Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." And after going through this experience in my life, I truly believe that. When you get to a place where pain is no longer your enemy, you are open to let the light in and breathe through it all. Your heart can take more than you think. It's almost we have to do the opposite of what comes natural to us. We have to allow the pain to be. We have to allow the feelings of rejection and regret and fear and breathe and relax and let it pass through our heart so we could be clear and present enough to get up the next day and try again. I have people come to me all the time wanting to start a business, wanting to fall in love, wanting to get a new job. And it's that fear of failure, that fear of pain, that fear that they're not good enough that stops them. And they don't realize they're already in pain. That's the thing, that feeling of unworthiness, that's the core of the pain. So by not doing it, you're still living in the pain. Every day you're still living in the suffering. And we don't realize that the way out of this is to try to have the relationship, to try to get the job, to try to start the business. Because then you're not letting the pain stop you. And if something happens that hurts, another thing to work through. The sun will rise again, another day to live. We become so much wiser and knowledgeable and resilient through wanting to experience everything in our freedom. But we cannot be free if our fear of suffering is greater than our love for ourselves and our love for all the things that we could do and our love for all the people that we could meet. I get pain. And I'm not saying that I've suffered more than all of you that are listening to my podcast today, but I know what it's like to feel a pain so deep that you don't think that the next day is possible. But as Rumi said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. The wound is that moment where you realize that this pain is so deep, but yet you still breathe. And with breath, there's hope, and with there's hope, there's maybe. Every moment offers us something new, even through pain. Because deep within us, there's desire, there's love, there are miracles, there are connections to make. But if we keep trying to avoid the things that will hurt us, we end up hurting us. There is a beautiful world waiting for you, but you can't live your life protecting yourself from everything you might feel and expect to live the life you've dreamed of. Because that dream comes with risks. That dream comes with getting hurt. That dream comes with rejection. That dream comes with disappointment, as well as abundance and success and joy. Pain is a part of life, but those of us who are willing to feel it can let it go. We can let it pass through us and release it and find joy again. There are so many people out there that are living with this low-level pain every day, low-level suffering, because we think we're managing everything and everything will be okay. But that pain eats away at all of us. It eats at our soul when we're living a life that we don't truly desire. And there's no possible way to protect yourself from the uncertainty of life. And that's one of the worst feelings in the world, to know that you are trying to manage your pain and then life doesn't work out the way you wanted it to. And you don't even have the tools to deal with it. But there's another way to allow yourself to feel, to open your heart, to process your feelings, and not to be afraid of what you feel. It's just a feeling. You can get through it. I've known people who have suffered unimaginable pain in their life. And if they were willing to feel it and every day believe in uncertainty and believe that another life is waiting for them, believe that they could still create, believe that they could still experience something in the moment, I've seen people create unbelievable things in their life. And it doesn't guarantee that you will be happier today than you were yesterday. Life does not promise us that. What life promises us is this moment and the most that you can get out of it. It could be as simple as a connection. It could be as big as a dream. But being here is a gift, and part of that gift is learning how to live and process pain and let it go. I think about that day when my husband left, and what if I sunk into that pain and held on to it? What would have happened to my children? What would have happened to my life? Where would I have lived? What would have happened to my work? What would have happened to my family if I decided that I was going to let the pain crush me and I was going to hide from what was in front of me? It is not an easy journey to say, I can handle this. I want to open up. I want more from my life. But it is a worthy journey, a journey worth taking, and a journey that if you decide to take, I promise you that there will be a beautiful life waiting for you. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. Don't be afraid of pain. Don't be afraid of rejection. My whole life has been filled with rejection, and you survive that, and you learn from it, and you grow from it. And when you're willing to go on this journey and not be afraid of what you might feel, you can embrace everything life has to offer you. And for all you know, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or A Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you could subscribe and leave a comment.